The face is beautiful, and it is not common for a bunny girl figure to make me want it so badly. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from X-Kurogani Studio with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 9th to 14th of March 2026. And for the third week in a row, we have very few genuine PVC figures on pre-order. Not sure why is that. I suppose that the war over at the Middle East has spooked out these figure brands a bit, given that I've heard that many figure pre-orders are being cancelled because, they can't be shipped, especially to the other side of the planet. But anything that goes on pre-order today will be releasing at the end of this year or even next year, so it is hard to predict stuff, to be honest. However, on the third party resin figure side of things, we have a lot of stuff to go through this week. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for our first stop. Genuine licensed PVC figures on pre-order this week. We have a couple of good stuff, and the first one is by Free Ink. 1x4 scale B style. Azur Lane Napolitan. Do you like spaghetti Napolitan? Napoli Dreamy Night version from Azur Lane, 36,000 yen, releasing in September. Yes, this September. Right, this time around, I am going to say this is a yes if you like her. I rarely say yes to pre-ordering a new Free Ink figure on day one, on the first month of pre-order opening, in fact. Of course, I wouldn't discount the possibility of her bargain binning. There is always that possibility of happening. So if you do not want to feel like you paid 36,000 yen for a figure only to see her going for 25,000 yen a few months after release, then maybe hold off your pre-order, right? I'm not sure how to predict this one, but I do think there is a very high possibility of her getting a big discount after release. But the post is really nice, very unique, lying on the floor and doing the peace sign. Right, moving on to the next one here. Now we are into 1x6 scale territory, and this is just a quick mention. This one pre-order opens on Ami like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Kawa Design 1x6 scale Girls Frontline 2 Exilum Suomi. 10,800 yen, releasing in January next year. So basically Suomi in a birthday suit, I suppose. Low budget figure, but looking pretty nice so far. And Kawa Design has released quite a few decent, I would say, decent low budget figures. You can always check out user pictures on MFC. It is just a matter of time before I buy something from this brand. They have caught my interest because they have started making premium scale figures recently as well. Moving on to the next one, 1x6 scale Elena Citrus version from Wondering Which The Journey of Elena by Full Wheel and Phoenix. Almost 22,000 yen, releasing this November. They call this version Citrus version just because she is holding a lemon. Just because of that one object in her right hand. Well, I feel like there are too many Elena figures, if I have to be honest, and Full Wheel is partly responsible for it. They have released so many figures of this character, be it the premium scales or the price figures. So I'm not sure about forking out 22k for this thing, right? There are not many figures of Elena that went up in value after release. The only one I can think of very fondly is the Guzmal one, the one that comes with a huge witch hat and a huge suitcase next to her. That one went up in value despite costing 30,000 yen, and they had to re-release it, but I'm not sure if the re-release is already out. But for every other Elena figures, like the ones by this brand Full Wheel and even Union Creative, I don't recall their value going up. In fact, they got discounted. Yeah. So this one is up to you, but I would suggest holding off your pre-order as well. Moving on to the next one, Gunnar Game. Brown Dust 2, Apostle Olivier by VKN, 23,500 yen, December release. Okay, so this body style or body type is becoming very popular lately. I think that Dongtan, like Korean MILF original character became popular. right? No tight single piece body dress and emphasizing on the body curves. And I've seen a few figures like that since then. And this Brown Dust 2 figure is very similar in terms of the character design, especially the outfit. And while I could not put the picture on YouTube over here, I'm not sure if I can. The backside is glorious, right? The body sculpt is amazing. Though this is a very simple figure in character design, that it feels like 23,000 yen plus is very expensive. Even more so coming from a Chinese brand, VK, and yeah, I'm not sure if I can justify 23k for this. But you know, the Japanese yen is weakening really hard. So I'm not sure anymore. How much is considered reasonable? How much is considered overpriced? Right? This doesn't feel expensive to me. Maybe the mainland China price is a lot cheaper. Moving on to the next one. This is no surprise to me. Okay, let's put it this way. If this figure was made by any other brand other than Max Factory, and you tell me that this is getting a re-release, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But the fact that this is a Max Factory figure getting a re-release is a bit surprising at the same time, because Max Factory does not re-release their scale figures very often. Good Smile, yes. Good Smile Art Shanghai or even Fat Company, yeah, they do re-release their stuff, but Max Factory, I don't see that happening very often. But if we were to talk about this specific Chun-Li figure from Street Fighter, then I suppose that it is not too surprising anymore, because this figure was so popular that her value shot up to like 50,000 yen in the aftermarket. So yeah, I guess that people who want her now has a second chance, and you should grab it. This is one of very few figures this week that I will tell you to pre-order early before you regret it again. And I would even go as far to say this is the best genuine licensed PVC figure of Chun-Li so far from Street Fighter. Better than any Kotobukiya Bishoujo statue, which probably came out like 10 years ago, right, of this character. This is the nicest looking scale figure of her. Of course, there may be third parties at 1/4 scale which are even better, but if you can't afford those, this is the next best thing, yeah. And Max Factory, now they are like A+ or even S tier figure brand in terms of QC, so go and get one. Moving on to the next one, this one pre-order opened last Saturday, almost a week ago, which means I did not manage to cover her, so let's talk about her this week. From Prime 1 Studio and Prisma Wing 1/7 scale is the Order a Rabbit Bloom Season 2 Chino, 35,000 yen, releasing in May 2027. Overpriced? Yes, absolutely, but I see the name Prisma Wing, I'm like, yeah, this is normal. Normal for them, right? I know that when they get their figures right, like really right, no QC issues, their figures can be incredible, but lolly figure 1/7 scale, which means it is even smaller than usual, 35k. The craftsmanship is indeed at a very high level. I can see a lot of details, and they're trying to tell us what you are getting when you purchase or pre-order this thing. So many detailed shots from different angles. I know Prisma Wing is trying to prove a point over here that you are buying something unique, something higher level. Yes, but still, no, Prisma Wing as a brand, it is not like their past track record is completely spotless. They have a few bad releases, so I'm not sure if I can even commit 35,000 yen for this thing. So many detailed photos as you can see. Yeah. So if Chino is getting a figure, I suppose that in the coming weeks, the other girl would be getting a figure too. Yeah. I can't remember their names, of course. Moving on to the next one here from Good Smile Company, we have a 1/7 scale Tamamo Cross from Uma Musume, 21,636 yen, January 2027 release. That is a nice base, and that base looks very familiar to me. Very similar to that Melusine figure. Yeah, the ruler class one by Good Smile, which cost like 17,000 yen. I think they are using the same base, like the same basic material, if that makes any sense. the same block of acrylic, but they're injecting it with different color and putting a different logo on top on the surface. That is how they cut cost. But this kind of thick acrylic base that are heavy, they are really good bases because they make the figure feel very stable. The base does not feel hollow and lightweight, so the figure is not that easy to knock over. I like that actually. So not complaining. And for fans of Uma Musume, this could be a good purchase, I would say. Yep, we order it early if you want her. Moving up next, we have a low budget figure from Anigame, which is very surprising. I think this would be the first low budget figure by this brand, Anigame, and I used to call them the Kotobukiya of Chinese figure brands, right? They offer 1/6 scale Azur Lane figures at around 18 to 20,000 yen, depending on whether you get the standard or the DX version. And the quality is fairly good as well, just that they are not at Ultra's level, obviously. So all this while, all these years, they offered value to figure collectors, and now they are going up a step in terms of value by offering 1/7 scale Azur Lane figure at 9,000 yen. This is Bismarck Unpacked Surprise version, releasing in January 2027. This could be potentially a good buy, right? I might be interested to review this one. After all, it is their first low budget figure. Should I pre-order one? Maybe. Right? For me, right, low budget figures, they are not exactly that hard to find after release, so I'll wait. Moving on to the next one, we release again Chiaki Nanami from Danganronpa 2 by Fat Company, 18,000 yen, August release. Yep, this one went up in market value to over 40,000 yen. But the last time I checked was like years ago, and she was 40,000 yen back then. So now she's getting a re-release. The price went up a bit. I think it was 13 or 15,000 yen back then, but this is still considered relatively low cost, given that how much the yen has weakened over the years. And while I do not have this figure of Chiaki Nanami, I do have Kirigiri Kyoko. Yeah, I do have Kyoko, and then that figure is like a part of the same set as this Nanami figure, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm happy with Kyoko. Not planning to get any other Danganronpa figures. Is this worth getting? Yes. Just that Fat Company's 1/8 scale figures of the past, Kyoko included, this one as well. The quality control on the paintwork is not exactly that good. There were areas with paint bleeding. That depends on luck, of course, which copy you get. But I would still say pre-order it if you want it. Yeah, this is still very good value. Moving on to the next one, okay, we have Honkai Star Rail Gift Plus Hyacinth from Miatos, 6,800 yen October release. Yep, this is Miatos Gift Plus. We're talking about low budget figures, but it seems like the prices are slowly creeping up. This used to be 6,000 yen. Now, it went up by 800 yen, and there are a few other Gift Plus figures that are higher than this in pricing. But they are still good values as long as you do not mind, the scale being 1/8. I will be reviewing Citali from Genshin Impact this week in like 2 days. So please to subscribe to this channel if you want to check out my figure reviews. I'm dropping 2 figure reviews this week, I think. So that figure is also part of the Gift Plus series. And once you check out Citali's review later this week, and also my previous review on Alicia swimsuit, you will be able to understand why I look up to this product line so much, Miatos Gift Plus, because while the scale is small, the quality does not feel low. In fact, the QC is excellent even, and it feels premium. So this is something that you may want to pre-order if you like her, but there's no harm waiting until after release as well, up to you. And the next Miatos Gift Plus, we have Sunday from Honkai Star Rail, I think. 6,800 yen November release. Interestingly, this dude over here is the best seller on AmiAmi this week for new pre-orders. Yes, a male character making it to the top of AmiAmi's ranking for the week. Doesn't happen very often. I guess that, female figure characters that are all waiting to jump on him, right? This is technically a Bishonen figure after all. And the last figure for this week on HLJ, Suzumiya Haruhi, L size Sport Upgrade by Good Smile, 8,000 yen, August release. Man, this is so nostalgic, I was a big fan of Gunpla, but nowadays I'm too lazy to build them. And when I transitioned from Gunpla to collecting anime figures, my first ever figure, more than 13, 14 years ago, it was Suzumiya Haruhi. Albeit it was a bootleg, but I bought it knowing that it was a bootleg since I couldn't afford genuine figures back then as a uh, college student in my early years. So I bought a bootleg Haruhi figure for like $13 or something. Yeah, the figure is still with me right now. Now to see a Haruhi figure at 8,000 yen, pop-up rate L is nice, right? At least it is not the ordinary pop-up rate. So that is all for HLJ. Now we move on to Army for more figures. And if you are finding this video informative or helpful so far, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. And one more thing would be, if you see any link pop up on the top right corner of this video, you can click on it to buy or pre-order those figures, or you can click on the links down in the description below if you use HLJ or OSGK to shop for anime figures. That is how you support this channel. Those are my affiliate links. Right, so the first one here, there are two Q-Skill figures not yet available on HLJ at the time of recording this video. Toga Inu no Chi, Akira 1/7 scale, almost 22,000 yen, November 2026 release. You know, females make up 6% of this channel's audience, only 6%. So to the 6% of women watching this, please let me know if you really enjoy figures of pretty boys who are very skinny. Would you buy this? Would you pre-order it? I would love to know. This is obviously something for you girls, I guess, right? So this is the first one, and the second one here from the same series, Shiki, 1/7 scale, almost 22k as well, February 2027 release. I like this one a lot more because of the sword, I guess. Q-Skill is a great brand. I have no problem recommending them. So go and pre-order yours if you like what you're looking at. The next one here, I can't remember if this figure went on pre-order before or Ami is just bumping it up to the front page. Coming from Belfine, we have Kana Arima Sweets Paradise Collaboration Costume Version. 23,370 yen. That is a big price cut. 4,000 yen of discount. Releasing this in July. If this is coming out in 4 months, maybe this one went on pre-order a few months back, but I couldn't remember. And somebody cancelled their pre-orders, so they bumped the figure up on the front page because they have additional vacancy or slots for the figure. That is probably what happened. Can't remember a thing because there are so many Kana Arima figures, and I do like her a lot in terms of Oshinoko characters. Just that this is Belfine we're talking about, so think twice before you pre-order it. Their QC is inconsistent. Next up, okay, the last 3 figures are from, mature content section on Ami. The first one here, Binding Creators Opinion, 1/4 scale Obsidia Bunny. Initially, I thought that was a misspelling. Should be Obsidian, right? It is the name of a color, I think, Obsidian, but Obsidia Bunny, fine. Almost 40,000 yen, cast of Abel, releasing this October. To me, it is just a normal black bunny girl, you know, not too special. This is a bit bland, a bit boring, but the pose is very nice, I'll give them that. And the body sculpt is amazing, of course. You need to display this Hadaka. Up next, we have 2 versions of the same figure. The first one here, the DX version, Chocola and Vanilla from Nekopara. Almost 50,000 yen, but that is a very generous discount, down from 55,000 yen by Eclipse Feather. Chinese brand, and they make edgy figures despite being Chinese. Interestingly, they are making something from Nekopara, and this is possibly their most expensive figure so far. I don't recall Eclipse Feather ever having anything this pricey. So between the deluxe version and the standard version, the difference is that the deluxe version, you're getting 2 sets of legs, presumably, where you can display them kneeling or standing upright. And yeah, we get Petan Opai over there, right? This is an 18 plus anime figure. Standard version is 46,500 yen, where you can display them only standing up. And in this specific case, I don't think saving 3 or 4,000 yen by going for the standard one is necessarily a bad idea, because all you're getting is an extra pair of legs, right? And if I were you and I bought this figure, I would prefer to display them standing because the figure will look taller and bigger, right? So that extra set of legs, it is like sitting in the box being useless. So in this case, we're not getting extra face plates, no, or extra outfits to swap out. It is just a pair of legs. So if you go for the standard version, not necessarily a bad idea in this case. And our last stop for genuine figures is Nin Game for Beeful and Forge Japan. 3 figures only this week. First one is a boy, apparently. Leo-kun, the boy next door. Yeah, this is a dude, apparently. A trap. 22k at 1/6 scale, releasing in September. The next one here has 2 versions. This is the Hadaka version. Big Melon Housewife Blanc, 1/6 scale, secret swimming class version by Insight, 22k September release. And here is the apostrophe safe for work version, 22k, same release month, where she is wearing a one-piece Speedo style swimsuit, stretching the legs, which I've seen like 20 figures with this pose so far. So that is all for the genuine figures section, like only 20 minutes of it. Not too much this week. Now we move on to third-party resin figures, where we have a lot of good stuff for the week. Look at the number of tabs on top. I don't think you can see it since I cropped in my screen. Right, the first section, chibi figures, we only have one Anya this week by GJJ Studio. Yeah, cosplaying as Son Goku. And there are so many versions over here at $118 each. Pink hair, orange outfit. Black hair, orange outfit. This is missed opportunity. If they were going to give her a black hair, make her hair look like Son Goku, you know, all the spiky hairstyle, they should have done that for her, but they wanted to reuse the same sculpt over and over, I assume. So this is like not that great of a purchase or pre-order, unless you get the pink hair one. The black hair should have spiky hair. That's what I think, at least. And here we have pink hair, purple outfit, black hair, purple outfit, pink hair, white outfit. Oh, the white one is nice. And black hair, white outfit. $118 each. Releasing in... no release date yet. The next chibi figure is actually Fern from Freewen, chibi version. Wearing Gengar pajamas from Pokemon. This is by COOKIN Studio, $103. No release date yet as well. Kinda cute. That is very cute. No, someone was just complaining days ago, just that I can't remember whether it was on my Discord server or on YouTube or in Facebook. I can't remember. Somebody did mention that if I look for a third-party Fern figure, everything is Leo. I can't find anything that is safe for work. There we go. That's one of it. But it is a chibi version. Wow, 20 cm? Wait, did I see that correctly? 20 cm is pretty big for a chibi figure. And there is free run coming. I saw it earlier. Yep. Oh, that free run is cute, man. Okay, that is nice. Moving on to the next one, we are now in original characters section. No life-sized waifus this week. So for original characters, ACY Studio is back with the Vatican Pope statue. Vatican Pope dressed up like this. Original character, so it is licensed. $550 at 1/4 scale, December release. It is a beautiful statue for sure. Vatican Pope. Alright. See, I'm not exactly very knowledgeable about religion and stuff. I thought popes are supposed to be male or man. Or am I wrong about it? Let me know down in the comments below, right? This is Big Popeye Blonde. Right, ACY Studio, their 1/4 skills are actually good. Like, if you see the character and you like it, not a bad idea to get it, because ACY Studio is not one of those third-party resin figure brands where they would appear and disappear when something is really wrong, when something bad happens, then they will just rename themselves and then come up with a new brand again. They don't do that. They have been sticking to this name for many years now, so this is a brand where you can trust a bit more compared to some other shady ones out there. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this one is an original character, licensed figure, but according to OSGK, at the bottom of this page, this is made from resin and polyurethane, PU, not a PVC figure. So I'm not sure if this figure will show up in HLJ or Ami in the coming weeks. So I'm covering it here this week by Wu Xianjai, a new name, never seen it before. Bobo's Mizu Segawa 1/6 scale, $138 at 1/6 scale, releasing in June. And that would be this June. Yes, just 4 months away or so. Her backside is way too majestic, so I had to slap on a different picture over here and have you look at her from a different angle. But yeah, that backside is glorious, man. In the end, what I'm seeing here is just a girl in swimsuit on a float, so nothing too special to me, to be honest. Moving on to the next original character, Art Copy. I've never seen that name before. Molly Succubus Possessors, what? Okay, 1/6 scale, original character, $154, releasing in March 2027. So another new brand making original characters, and once again, the materials listed below is polyurethane and nothing else. This figure can't be 100% polyurethane, so another one of those figures where I'm not sure if Japanese websites will have it later on. Price is okay for a 1/6 scale. You know, if I wanted a nun figure, and even more so a Gunner style figure where you can undress the nun, I think there are better figures of her out there by other 18 plus figure brands like Vibrasta, just that those are not easy to find either nowadays. They are pretty pricey in the aftermarket. Next up, ZJB or ZJB Studio. Okay, there are two figures of Sophie and Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. This is the first one, $175. Releasing in, okay, no release date yet. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've never been a fan of, this old school anime. No, this is not exactly old school, but not my kind of anime because the art style looks old school, right? Yeah, kind of getting 1.5 figures over here. Height 22 cm. Yeah, not my kind of thing. $175 does feel a bit pricey, but at least they're getting one extra part, I guess. And the second figure of her over here is by Shunyin Studio. $195 September release. This one is less attractive compared to the one earlier. Are there any LEDs in the flame? I hope there is. If there isn't any... Oh, there is. Okay. I've come to expect third parties to do that, right? Adding LEDs to any translucent effect part. 29 cm, a lot taller, but it is mostly because of the base. Alright, two meh looking figures in my opinion. Up next, what the heck is this, man? Yeah, we are now in anime characters section, obviously. So this is by Artificial Human Studio Android 18, realistic style from Dragon Ball. $347 at 1/4 scale, releasing in December. Yeah, I'm choosing to show you guys the figure with this picture over here because of her pose. There's nothing 18 plus about this figure. Just that, her pose is so weird and it could be interpreted by YouTube's AI as being, missionary pose, which won't be good. Just that it looks like she is squatting to take a poop at the toilet. Asian squat style. Yet at the same time, the legs position is so weird that I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. It feels like looking at a spider with two legs. It is so weird, man, the pose. Yeah, this is not human. It is an android. Maybe the joints are a lot more flexible, can go in other weird directions, but it still looks weird AF to me. So I'm not liking this one, even though there may be people who think otherwise. Moving on to the next one here, we have two figures from One Piece, I think. The first one here is Nico Robin Pool Party by Hot Girls Studio. Two versions, $137. I actually like the one with the straw hat. Yep, the one with the blue bikini and shorter hair. I think that one looks a lot nicer. A bit more additional detail. In the end, this is just Nico Robin in a bikini, in a swimsuit. Nothing much going on, but at least the price is really good. Under $140 at 1/6 scale, and you're getting everything in this picture. Nice. Right, moving on to the next one here, Boa Hancock from One Piece by Pink Butterfly Studio. There are two versions here, normal skin and dark skin version, and you can get both for $533. That is 1/4, by the way, right? So if you get either one, normal skin $293. This is like right in between anime style and realistic style face, and I've seen this many times from other brands. So I feel like I have gotten used to it. And for some reason, this Alter version, as I call it, no influence from the Fate series, Saber Alter. This Boa Hancock Alter version looks a lot nicer. Yeah, the slightly darker skin and the white hair goes together so well. I would prefer this one. But 1x4 scale for a simple figure like this, not too sure about that being a good purchase, to be honest. Almost $300, right? Makes no sense to get both. You get either one, but $300. Moving up next, we have Sakura Kinomoto from Cardcaptor Sakura by Rising Sun Studio. $155, no release date yet. And all we get over here are CGI renders. Or at least they do look like CGI renders, maybe not. This is probably an actual figure, just that, they cut it out like a PNG vector image and then they swap out the background. So it almost looks like CGI render. Probably not. No, this is an actual figure, I think. But sometimes it can be difficult to tell the difference. Face is good, looks like her. Yeah, I'm afraid that I can't really give much feedback for most of the third-party resin figure studios because, it is so hard to keep track every single one of them. And it is those few brands that consistently make what I like or want, where I would pay some extra attention, and hence I know about their track record in the past, whether they are any good or not. But for the remaining 80 to 90% third-party resin figure brands, I barely know anything. Next up, from Hunyo Studio, they are making Kagura from Inuyasha, $240 at 1x7, releasing in September. Okay, this looks better than expected. Way better than I expected, actually. And the base is responsible for the price, I guess, because $240 does feel a tad bit expensive for what I'm getting. Honyo Studio has been around for a while. They did have their own dramas in the past involving a Honkai, I think Honkai figure, yeah. But so far, I haven't heard anything bad about them in the recent year, at least. That drama was from like 2 years ago, yeah. So the thing with Inuyasha is that from genuine figure brands like Good Smile or Proof, right? Not many options in the premium skilled figure. If you want pop-up parades, there are figures of Inuyasha characters. But if you want something better, then I'm afraid that you have to look at third parties for Inuyasha. Up next, we have 3 Rei Ayanami figures. Yeah, we get Evangelion stuff almost every week. The first one here is by RO Studio and Newborn Studio. Ayanami Rei on a motorcycle from Evangelion, and this is 1x4. Wow, the bike has to be huge. $551 is actually not bad. When you're getting a bike at 1x4 scale, releasing in September. Now let's have a look. Okay, the face is right in between realistic and anime at the same time, but I'm okay with it. Looks nice. So what is the dimension of this thing, man? This has to be huge. Okay. Height 44 cm, width 51. Width 51. Okay, that is pretty big for a bike. Price is reasonable though. Though it is obvious that where they cut cost, the character design, right? When they gave the main figure such a simple Barney style suit, so they could keep the price as low as possible for the main figure, and then, yeah, you're paying most of the $551 for the bike. The figure is probably $220 and the remaining almost $300+ is for the bike. Moving on to the next Ayanami Rei figure by COD Studio and Polar Bear Studio. Right, Polar Bear Studio has a few really nice 1x4 scale figures that are already out. COD Studio, however, I can't say I have been a big fan of their figures, but they do have like a really nice Asuna from Sword Art Online, if I remembered correctly. Yeah. Given that this is a 1x4, I think Polar Bear Studio is the one manufacturing it. Because COD Studio is making 1x6 most of the time. Okay, and weirdly enough, there are no pictures of her from the front. Full picture, I mean, right? So this is anime style face. This is realistic style face. This reminds me of Art of Shunya, right? Anime Ray Art of Shunya version, she looks like this, which is not terrible, but I would still take the anime version. So see, they have a picture of her from the back, but not from the front in full. I have no idea why. It is still a very nice figure of Ayanami Rei though, and the pricing for $34, that is for the DX version where you're getting both the anime style and the realistic style head sculpt. If you do not want that, you only want either versions, $384, which is not too bad for 1x4 scale third-party resin. Up next, the third Ayanami Rei Yujai Wenshin Studio. Yep, 1x3 scale dolls, which can go full Hadaka and you get all the details both top and bottom. You already know what I mean. So this is $347, releasing in June. She looks kind of thick, isn't it? Kind of apostrophe fat. Not exactly fat, but thicker than usual because Ayanami Rei and Asuka both are quite skinny. Because the dolls, yeah, they need to have joints inside and stuff like that. And they also need to buff up the opai a bit. It is like a restriction or a constraint when it comes to action figures that are seamless in general. So every single doll or action figure you see by Yujai Wenshin Studio has the same problem. Face on this one looks okay, but not the best one I've seen. The next one by the same company, yep, Marin Kitagawa, she looks a bit thick over here as well, especially her body because of, they made her opai too big. You can check out the Hadaka pictures yourself. I'm not scrolling through them. $347 as well and June release. The face is not that great, isn't it? Her face is a bit elongated in my opinion. As usual, the third parties are unable to get Marin's face right most of the time. This one is like almost there, but not quite there. Opai is obviously too big. Up next, we have Sword Maiden from Goblin Slayer. Once again, 1x3 scale, $347, releasing in June as well. Okay, this one you get it for that blush in the face. I think this is the best one among the 4 on pre-order this week. Granted, they made her chest really big again, but for this character, maybe because she looks like a MILF with a blonde hair, making her body a bit thicker than usual looks okay for this character for some reason. I think it is because she looks like a MILF. So this is the best one among the 4, and the 4th one over here is Your Forger. Same studio, 1x3 scale, $347 as well, releasing in June. So with Your Forger's face, a bit weird as well. It does look like her, but about 90% there. I think the mouth region is a bit odd. It looks like she is, forcing a smile or something like that. And once again, the opai region is way too big, right? It has to be intentional at this point. I don't think it is merely a limitation with the seamless doll body design. It is probably on purpose because the collectors over in China want them this way. Moving on to the next one right here, the next Your Forger figure over here, an actual figure, 1x8 scale by Blooming Studio, $138, releasing, okay, no release date yet. No, this face is a no, does not look like her. Does not look like her at all. There is some resemblance, but that is about it. I don't like the face. I would rather you buy a prize figure at this point. It is probably the mouth, right? The mouth does not resemble Your Forger. And the eyes are slanting a tad bit too much. I have to be careful over here not to make that racist joke regarding how Asians have those eyes, but this looks like that a bit. Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I do find some women with slanting eyes to be really pretty, really attractive, but this does not look like Your Forger. I think the eyes need to be fixed and the mouth region as well. Yeah. Moving on to the next one over here, Free Run by Liu Li Studio, $195, Free Run in Chinese dress, December release. This is pretty, right? But at the same time, for some reason, this figure of Freeman reminds me of Kasugano Sora from Yosugano Sora. I think it is because Kasugano Sora has twin tail, white hair, and there are many figures of her in the white Chinese dress as well. So this reminds me of her. This is pretty much Freeman wearing makeup. Yeah, I suppose that there will be people on the internet complaining about how this is out of character, but this is third party we're talking about. Another brand that I know nothing about. Moving on to the next one. The next Freeman figure here is so much nicer, but someone on Facebook did complain about how her head is a tad bit too small, which I do agree. This is by Last Work Studio, Freeman 1x4 scale at under $300. Nice. Release date is non-existent once again. No release date. So right here, what I want to show you guys is the face, which in my opinion looks nice. I do like the face, but I do agree that the head looks a tad bit too small. Or rather, they make her hips way too big. Freeman is not this curvy, but once again, they are just doing stuff for fans of Gunner stuff, I suppose. If you have a problem with the body proportions over here, which I do have, go and buy a genuine figure, but I'm happy with my Kotobukiya one on my shelf right there. I think there is a 1x4 scale by Tistel Santon Studio, which was really nice, right? And that probably remains my favorite 1x4 scale figure of Freeman so far. Up next, okay, another Leot Fern figure, like people on the internet are complaining. By Rolly Star Studio, we have Fern in her undergarment. No, this is not castable, unfortunately. Oh, it is castable. OsGK labeled her as 18 plus. Let me have a look. Yes, she is castable. I just took a look at the details at the bottom of the page. Nice. So the deluxe version with cast off is $221 at 1x6 scale, releasing in September. Face looks fine to me as well. Moving on to the next one. This is probably the worst third-party resin figure this week. By D1 Studio, we have Reze from Chainsaw Man, which looks nothing like her. Like the realistic face conversion over here is a big fail. This has to be one of those third-party resin figures where in the end, they could not get enough pre-orders and they have to cancel production. You would be surprised how often this happens, right? You know, I do this figure news fix every week and there are quite a few third parties almost every week where I give a very negative reaction or a reaction which can be interpreted as not favorable. Those figures, right? Many of them end up being cancelled eventually, and then those who pre-ordered it, yeah, they got their refunds, of course. So this figure, I'm not sure, man. If you give us a real, an anime face version to choose from, maybe, but this looks like some random cosplayer in a wig. Yeah, I don't like this at all. Moving on to the next one here from Chainsaw Man again with Power in a nurse outfit by Fengshan Huotian Studio. Never seen this brand before. 1x4 scale, $310, releasing in September. So many third parties are coming out in September. You have to feel bad for people who have too many pre-orders. So the face on this Power looks really nice, but the outfit design is weird in the sense that the fan service over here feels rather forced. You know, it is like, if you have a very tight nurse outfit and the center is unbuttoned, you see a cleavage, that would be more natural. This is like they used the scissors and did a cutout just to expose the oppa. It looks forced to me. So I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest. But I do understand that the target audience is someone who is not like me. At least the face is good. Next up over here, this is a PVC figure and may pre-order open in Japanese websites in the coming weeks, right? And this is by a new brand I've never seen before, Ali2E. And one has to wonder if AliExpress is starting to make their own anime figures. How do you pronounce that? Is it Ali2E or is that a different way of spelling Alice? I'm not sure, right? V singer Luo Tianyi, where there are many scale figures of her already, including by reputable brands like Apex toys. This is Flooring Concerto version 1/7 scale, $184. October release this October. A lot of gold paint, isn't it? And I go through these pictures over here. I feel like I'm looking at something that was manufactured by either Apex Toys or Mietos once again. It is like the way they photographed these official product pictures. They probably came from the same photographer, right? Of course, same photographer does not mean same company, but still, it makes me wonder, wow, the gold is very nice. I don't care about this character, but man, this is a lot of details for a 1/7 scale figure. Wow. So $184, this should be close to 30,000 yen, I think. 25 to 30,000 yen. I'm bad at doing conversions between US dollar and Japanese yen, but that should be close enough. At least 25k over here. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is interesting. Marin Kitagawa, but Song of the Skin Kitahime. No, a game, right? If I'm not mistaken, a crossover over here. And this is a low budget PVC figure for $25. Yes, 25. RS by RS. September release, and you don't even have the option to put a deposit because the price is so low. You just pay the full amount upfront, $25. Okay, the face is not very good. Barely looks like Marin Kitagawa. The nose is not really visible. The face is too flat, right? The nose needs to be a bit more prominent. But putting that aside, $25, low budget PVC figure territory, and I would expect this to be a slightly better price figure, not any more than that. Moving on to the next one, we are now in game characters section. So, Resident Evil, I'm well aware of the developer being Capcom, which is Japanese, right? But a lot of the stuff Capcom makes are very westernized in a way. And on this channel, when I cover anime figures, I focus on Asian stuff in general, be it Chinese or Korean or Japanese, right? The most obvious one is Japanese, of course. So if it is a game character from a Western developer, usually I would skip it just to maintain my niche within the Asian anime or game characters. So let's talk about Resident Evil, shall we? Because I heard that the recent new game release is doing very well, very successful. Yes, I have not purchased a copy of the game yet, and I'm not sure if I will ever have the time to play it, but I am interested. So back to this figure over here. This is from Resident Evil 9, Grace Ashcroft and Sherry Birkin. There are two different figures over here by Fine Nip Studio. The price is up to $655 at 1/4 scale, September release. There are two versions over here with DLCs or without. So this is the other version, and I think I like this one a lot more. Maybe because of the hairstyle, right? I like this one a lot more. So what is the name of this character? Is it Grace or what? I'm not too sure. Okay, so with DLC would be $476 without DLC, $417. Okay, so 400 plus is not bad at all, the price. Version B, there's now this one right here. We are without DLC, $347, with DLC, $396. So what is the DLC right there? Head sculpts and upper bodies are interchangeable. DLC would be, yeah, you get an additional head and the stand to display it, right? So I think I would prefer this one, but with the DLC, for me to swap out the heads. Yeah, I like this one a lot more, even though she shows less skin. And the next Resident Evil figure here is by Dao Ying Studio, a new brand apparently. $310, Grace Ashcroft. 1/4 scale, no release date yet. For some reason, I feel like I'm looking at something from The Last of Us. For some reason. $310 and you're getting a lot of stuff. This looks incredible. Just that the brand is new, so we don't know anything about whether they will be able to deliver this level of quality, but very nice. I'll just take everything at face value at the moment, since there's nothing I can talk about the brand anyway. Right, moving on to the next one here. This is my favorite resin figure this week, but it is licensed. And I would imagine that HLJ would offer this one next week. Let me refresh the page because earlier the price was not available. Now the price is available. $640 at 1x4 scale. You are getting Brown Dust 2 Eclipse by Tri Eagles Studio. And you have no idea how badly I want this. No, it has nothing to do with the huge melons on her chest, right? The face is beautiful, and it is not common for a bunny girl figure to make me want it so badly. This is beautiful. This is stunning. Releasing in March 2027, $640. You know, I wasn't thinking about getting so deep into Brown Dust too. I think I would prefer to stick to PVC figures at 1x7 or 1x6, but Tri Eagles Studio is really making me think twice over here. Because this is one of my favorite. Oh, I mean, among the 1x4 scales, this is probably my favorite figure this week, including the free ink earlier, the free ink PVC. Alright, this is amazing. So go and check out the pictures on OSGK. I don't want to scroll through them for obvious reasons. And we move on to the next one here. Is this really Dorothy from Nikkei? This looks like some random doll to me with a pink hair by Odd Studio. $685 at 1x3 scale. Dolphy Dream size. Releasing in... Okay, no release date again. Let's have a look. Okay, upon a closer look over here, there is some resemblance to Dorothy. Some resemblance, but for some reason, it also looks a bit cheap. It looks like one of those off-the-shelf dolls I see in Taobao for $150, and then they put a pink color wig on it. Yeah, it does not look expensive to me, even though the price is expensive. It's $685, man. Right, next up, what do we have here? Oh, Gunnar stuff. Fish Head Studio. Which, I've mentioned this before. This is probably a rebranded TXS Studio, which is one of the top Gunnar figure brands out there among the third parties. They are doing some of the most creative stuff. Creative in the wrong way. And this is no different. Kamadeva from FGO, $329. There is a normal body version and a gold finish version. So I would take the normal body version, I suppose, because the normal body version, when you close the front doors, I'll just call it front doors, there is a lolly version of Kamadeva, who is completely Hadaka, and when you open the doors, she appears to be completely split in half, and you get to see the innards. Wow. This is both 18 plus SX and also 18 plus SG for gore and violence. Interesting. I mean, are there anyone out there with a screw or two loose in their heads that they would love this thing? Yes, there are quite a few people out there who are like that. And while this is not the kind of figure that I would enjoy, I'm still very curious about it, right? No, I won't pre-order this. This is a bit too extreme for my taste. And the next Fate series figure over here, okay, this is something interesting, right? Coming from GC Studio, Tosaka Rin from Fate Stay Night, $244. There are 3 versions, and unfortunately, you can only choose either one. And by that, I mean, if you want all 3 different face expressions, you need to buy the figure 3 times over. And that is probably on purpose because they know there are people who is going to do that, right? Instead of offering you a DLC for a small fee, they make it into 3 separate figures on purpose. And this figure, in case you are not aware, is actually a highly limited genuine figure by the Chinese brand called Pure. Except it is an exclusive, and it is highly exclusive. Only 50 units will ever be made. The genuine original one by Pure. In fact, if you go to their Twitter or X page, I think they still have the pictures up. The actual thing, the genuine one. 50 units only. So, let's put it this way. None of us watching this video, and even myself, will ever have the chance of getting the genuine copy. So, of course, some Chinese brands out there are going to rip it off and do a recast of it. Yes, it is illegal. Yes, it is unethical. But you know what? As long there are people who will purchase them, they'll keep making them, right? And I won't tell you to go out and say buy it or not buy it. I'll leave it to you to decide. So with this one, the three versions over here, if you ask me which one to choose, I am going to have a hard time because I love Ahegao faces. But knowing Tosaka Rin's character, knowing her personality, I feel like the angry face is better, right? And I believe that is the original face. That's the original one. So what do you think? She's making green tea, and I can't show much on YouTube, obviously, but you can already imagine what this figure is, right? So yes, I want it really badly, even though this is a recast. I know that I will never be able to get the genuine one. Okay, moving on to the next one. Over here, we have two figures from Genshin Impact. The first one is Raiden Shogun, school uniform by Jigen World Studio, a brand that has been around for years. So they are they are actually legitimate, just that I don't like this figure at all. I think the colors are dull, right? Too dull, not very nice. $240 is not cheap either, and there is no release date yet. You know, this could have been a 1x4 scale PVC figure of a random JK, and she would cost like 20,000 yen. I mean, look at double SS Greekman Shinjo Akane and Rika Takarada by Kotobukiya, right? School uniform sitting on the desk, they are roughly 20,000 yen each. So this one, $240 in comparison, feels very expensive, even though it is resin. Face looks okay though. Moving on to the next one, we have Chi-Chi from Genshin Impact by Lightning Studio. The game version, the one you're looking at on screen, is $135 only at 1x6. Lolly character after all, small figure. And there is school uniform version for $128, which is quite nice. And you can get both for $241. So let's have a closer look. There is a Chi-Chi action figure by Apex Toys, and until today, nobody's buying mine. I'm selling it off. Nobody's buying it. Because that is very expensive for an action figure, right? 1x8 scale, or is it 1x9? And it is over, like, is it like 20,000 yen or something? I'm selling below that, obviously, because it is pre-owned. But still, Chi-Chi is one of the less popular characters in Genshin, I suppose. And somebody has brought up these points before. Yes, the Apex Toys action figure might be superior to Figma's in some ways, like quality control. But whenever we talk about action figures, we talk about an entire ecosystem. The parts need to fit each other. They need to be able to share parts with one another. So if you are a long-time collector of Revoltech or Figma, then you will want parts to be compatible with one another. Then comes in a new brand with a bigger scale action figure and a higher price. It is not that easy to sell. Yeah. Which one do you prefer? This is tough because I think I would always prefer the game outfit version, but school uniform is quite nice on this one as well. Face is also okay. Moving on to the next one here from New Age Studio, Bronya J-Chick from Honkai Impacted. So there are three versions over here. Uniform version, $223. Swimsuit version, $223. And you can get both for $399, but there are 3 head sculpts apparently. So yeah, the blur face, which Bronya is famous for, that will always be the face I pick for a Bronya figure that is not in her combat outfit, the mecha outfit, right? So the face on this is really nice, very accurate, looks like Bronya. But in terms of my favorite figure, I don't think it is worth getting both for almost $400. I would take the office outfit. Swimsuit figures are too plain and boring. Moving on to the next one here from Liang Chan Studio, we have Firefly from Honkai Star Rail. $199 at 1x6 scale. No, not 1x6, 1x7. That is a bit pricey for 1x7. Releasing in September, and I just want to check her face. Alright, her face looks really nice. This is very nice. Once again, the only problem is that we know nothing about the brand, and I think Liang Chan Studio, this would be my first time looking at this name over here. Let's click on it and have a look. Ah, 2 figures. They only have 2 figures. The other one is Sleeping Rabbit Hatsune Miku. So a very new brand, right? Moving on to the next one, we have Xiao Huan Xiong Studio. This brand has been around for some time. The Herta from Honkai Star Rail, $347. A lot of stuff going on. Wait, did I cover this figure last week? I can't remember anymore. This looks familiar. December release at $347. I think I did cover this one last week. Very nice. Oh, now that is a lot of stuff going on the base over here. $347 is understandable, and the face looks good. Very nice. My mouth is so dry right now, running my mouth for over an hour without stopping. Yeah, one of the better third parties this week for sure. Next up, we have Siren from Honkai Star Rail by Nightwing Studio. $197 at 1x6, I believe. It is non-scale. September release. So the height is... Oh, come on now. The height is not provided either, but I am expecting this to be close to 1x6. Alright, the face is accurate, at least in these pictures. And yep, she definitely looks like Alicia a lot. Ah, tennis. I love tennis. I'm a big tennis fan. Someone did point out in my previous Figure News Week's video where I was wearing a Federer versus Sampras shirt. Yep, that was a limited edition shirt by Wilson, like, is it 15 years ago or something? Yeah. I bought it because Federer's name is on it and it was a genuine shirt. I'm a big fan of the big three tennis players. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. I love them all. Yeah, the golden age of tennis. Now, two of them have retired and the third one is in a decline, I think. Djokovic is on a decline. He's no longer playing as well as in the past. So back to this figure over here. I think this is a very nice Siren figure. Like, nothing quite wrong with it, right? This is a good one. Just that Nightwing Studio, never heard of them either. Let's click on the name and see. Only 3 figures. Oh, okay, that Asuka. I remember that Asuka. It is by the same brand, fine. But as you can see, 2 figures, 3 figures. These are all very new brands over here. Up next, one of my favorite third parties this week that is not 1x4. This is beautiful. Shiromi Iori from Blue Archive by Circle Max Studio. There are 2 genuine figures of her, I believe. One is by Spiritel, not cheap. The one wearing school uniform, I think, with a shotgun. And there's another one in swimsuit. Was it Union Creative? Very similar to this swimsuit. Yeah, there are PVCs of her already, but this third party looks better than those 2. Maybe because of how much skin she's showing. And she appears to have darker skin over here, but still looks really nice. I like this one so much. And I really wish that I can zoom in the pictures over here, but I do not want to do that on YouTube because I might trigger the AI. This is going for $199 at 1x7. Unfortunately, 1x7. December release. Circle Max Studio is a brand that has been around for some time. They already have figures out. So if you want to figure out what a figure brand is like, occasionally I make videos on checking out third-party resin figures, but those videos come once every 3 months. Or you can join OshGK's own Discord group where they actually post pictures of released figures by various third-party brands. I think you should check out those, yeah. For Circle Max Studio, I think I need to check back, the pictures posted by OshGK in the past, but I'm liking this figure a lot. Moving on to the next one here, Ryoge Kisaki from Blue Archive by Sugar Studio. 2 different versions over here. The backless version on the left, which is $157, and the swimsuit version, black bikini, $157 as well. Or you can get both for $279, a small discount right there. September release. Alright. To me, I always associate Ryoge Kisaki with black China dress for some reason, but this is nice as well. I will always take the black China dress version first. Moving on to the next one. This is a very long third-party figures section. Dragonstone Studio is back, probably recasting stuff. This is Sora Sakihina Bust from Blue Archive. Oh, Bust figure at 1x5 scale for $189. December release. I have been waiting for the full picture of the figure so that I can post it on social media. And now I know why there are no full pictures, because I wasn't reading. It is a bust figure. Okay. Face is excellent. Spot on. But I have never been a bust figure kind of person, so I'm skipping this one. It is so unfortunate, that one of the nicer versions of Sorasaki Hina, the figure is being made by Belfine. Was it Belfine or Be Full? The one with the huge Batman-like outfit. That's what I called it, the purple color outfit. Yeah, it is really unfortunate. Moving on to the next one, 15 Studio Vivian Banshee Swimwear from Zenless Zone Zero. Okay, this is available in, this one is actually customable. So there are two face expressions over here. Standard version, $244. Standard version plus DLC, which is the other face expression for $295. And you can get a set of two for $421, and there is a total of 3 heads over there. As for the cast-offable body, okay, so the descriptions over here is unclear. I'm not sure if you buy the standard version or standard version plus DLC, are we getting the cast-off parts? It is not mentioned over here at all. Just that when I scroll through the pictures, there are pictures of her with her exposed melon. So this is something you probably need to clarify with OzGK, WhatsApp them or email them and ask. The face look pretty good, but I'm not interested in this character. Moving on to the next one, Zenless Zone Zero again. Wow, a set of 3 by Hakimi Studio, Extra Yao, Hoshimi Miyabi, Evelyn Chevalier. And the selling point of these 3 figures is that you can combine their bases and you can display them close to each other. This is how you differentiate yourself from genuine figure brands, right? Normally, if this was an ordinary figure with nothing special about it, I would tell you guys to buy the one by Apex Toys. But this one, what they're offering over here is that you can combine the base together like a puzzle, and the 3 figures are almost standing next to each other, and you have their poses complementing each other, and that is really nice. It looks photogenic. It looks like movie poster or something. I like this a lot. So great job on Hakimi Studios' part over here. Great idea. So a set of 3 is $677, or you can get each for $278, which in my opinion, there is no point. If you only want 1 or 2 figures out of the 3, then just go and buy the Apex Toys one, right? If you get this one, you need to get the set just for the pose. So $677 for 3 figures at 1/6 scale is not bad at all. The price is reasonable. Releasing this September. And the faces on all 3, they look great. I don't have any complaints. At least with this character, what's her name again? Evelyn, I think. The one on the right is Evelyn. The pose is much better than the one by Apex. Yep, this is them displayed side by side. Can display them in a combined base. And alright. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. Hakimi Studio is doing a great job, and Hakimi Studio is also one of the older brands into this video. We have seen so many new brands. This is one of the older ones which has been around for years. Their stuff are actually great, so this looks really promising. Moving on to the next one here, another Zenless Zone Zero figure by Alice21 Studio, a brand that I can highly recommend or even vouch for. Their stuff are nice. $240 at 1/6 scale, releasing in June, which is very soon. This brand, they have been making Zenless Zone Zero stuff for years, I think, and they are, what's the girl's name again? The pink hair girl. How can I forget the name? Back then, they made 18 plus figures, and then since China banned it, no longer an option, but still their figures quality, the face and everything is good. And the last figure for today is Bast Studio Haicho from Azur Lane, $197 at 1/6 scale, releasing in December. I don't recall seeing this name Haicho among genuine figure brands. Maybe they have not made a figure of her yet. And this is just a figure of her in swimsuit. I'm not sure if it is worth paying $200 for it. And boy, her melons are so round. So perfectly round that it puts those grade A or grade S fruits out there to shame. It is so perfectly round, which means it feels a tad bit unrealistic because real Oppa is not this round. But let's not complain about anime or game logic over here. Face looks fine at least. So that is about it for today's figure news, or rather this week's figure news. Which one will you pre-order early? Which one will you wait until after release and buy one at a discount? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, if you enjoyed this video, please do support this channel by giving this video a like and subscribing to this channel for more anime figure content. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm dropping 2 figure reviews this week. So until then, thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.